It was supposed to be just another episode for the show, cameras hidden in the ceiling tiles, a microphone clipped under his collar, and a wig he hated wearing. No one was supposed to recognize him. Not even close. The CEO of Brick and Barrel, America's fastest-growing home goods chain, had done 4 of these undercover visits before. But nothing prepared him for what he saw that rainy Tuesday morning. The store looked like any other. Humming fluorescent lights, upbeat pop music on the speakers, the smell of clean floors and new packaging. As Mike, a supposed trainee from the corporate office, he stepped in expecting to shake things up quietly, learn about inefficiencies, maybe reward a star employee. Instead, he found tears. She was barely holding it together. Slouched behind register 4, shoulders trembling, the cashier tried to blink back tears as she scanned items for a woman with a screaming toddler. "Paper or plastic?" she asked with a wobbling voice, and when the customer ignored her and just stormed off, she dropped her head into her hands. "Everything okay?" Mike asked gently. She looked up, startled, and then smiled with practiced pain. "Yeah, I'm fine." But she wasn't. Her name was Emily, 23 years old, had worked at Brick and Barrel for over 3 years. Single mother, car recently repossessed, living with her cousin on a pull-out couch. She hadn't planned to unload her life story on a stranger pretending to be a trainee, but something about Mike's quiet sincerity opened a floodgate she didn't know she was holding back. "Sorry," she said at one point, wiping her face. "I don't mean to be a mess. It's been a bad week. Month, year." Mike listened, asked questions, noticed things. The manager, Derek, walked past twice while Emily cried and said nothing. Another cashier looked over with a half smirk, half sigh, like Emily's sadness was an annoying part of the job they had all learned to tune out. When Mike was assigned to shadow Emily for the day, Derek made it clear she wasn't his first choice. "She's slow, overly sensitive, not management material," he said flatly. Emily, however, was anything but slow. She knew every code by heart, remembered returning customers by name, helped an elderly man with a broken zipper and offered to carry a heavy planter out to a woman's car. She was kind, thoughtful, and deeply human in a job that had tried to grind that out of her. By mid-afternoon, Mike had seen enough to know something was wrong, not with Emily, but with the culture in that store. Team members joked about cutting corners. One associate told him to just stack stuff wherever, no one checks. Derek took 2 personal calls in the back while the line at the registers grew long. When a customer complained that an item rang up for more than the shelf price, Derek responded, "Then don't buy it." But it got worse. Around 4 p.m., Emily was called into the manager's office. Mike, still posing as a trainee, wasn't invited, but curiosity, and a deepening sense of dread, kept him nearby. The walls were thin. "I need to talk about your attitude," Derek said coldly. Emily's voice was small. "I'm sorry, I've just been dealing with. You've been crying on the floor, making customers uncomfortable. This is a place of business, not therapy. I've been trying. I just lost my daycare, and my son." Derek cut her off. "This isn't working. Consider this a formal write-up. One more and we'll have to reevaluate your position here." Mike's heart pounded. His jaw clenched. He had heard enough. That night, the cameras were turned off. Officially, the segment was scrapped. Unofficially, it was just beginning. The next morning, Mike walked into the store again, no wig, no microphone. He wore a navy blue suit and a sharp expression. Emily did a double take, confused. Derek's face drained of color as he recognized who Mike really was. "I'm Jason Bram," he said calmly. "CEO of Brick and Barrel." You could have heard a pin drop. "I came in yesterday undercover to observe our team," he continued, locking eyes with Derek. "What I saw was unacceptable. Not from the staff. From management." Derek began to stutter. "Yes, sir, if I had known." "That's the point," Jason interrupted. "You didn't know. And yet you treated one of our most dedicated employees with disregard, cruelty, and a complete lack of leadership." Derek was dismissed on the spot, but the story didn't end there. Jason sat down with Emily privately. He apologized, deeply and sincerely, not only for how she'd been treated, but for the system that had allowed it to happen. "You shouldn't have to cry through your shift to prove your worth," he told her. "You already have." He offered her a promotion to lead customer service associate, a pay raise, and a transfer to a nearby store with a new management team. He also made a call to corporate to establish an employee relief fund for workers facing sudden life hardships, like childcare loss or eviction threats. Emily was the first to receive support from it, a year's worth of childcare assistance and funds to help her get back on her feet. And then came the most unexpected part. Jason handed Emily a sealed envelope. Inside was a scholarship application for a management training program fully funded by the company. "I've seen leaders in action," he told her. "And you're one of them." Tears welled in Emily's eyes again. But this time, they were different. This time, they meant hope. Weeks later, the store was running better than ever. Morale was up. Complaints were down. A new manager brought in transparency and compassion. But the story, Emily's story, echoed far beyond those four walls. The Undercover episode never aired on television. But word spread inside the company and beyond. Other employees began to speak up, systems were re-evaluated, and a new internal campaign launched, Lead with Heart. Its first ambassador, Emily. The lesson: you never know who's watching. More importantly, you never know the battle someone is silently fighting behind a smile or a tear. One CEO went looking for problems in his company. He found a broken system. He left with a mission, and a reminder to all of us. Sometimes the strongest leaders are the ones who haven't yet been given the chance to lead. Would you like me to write a YouTube script version with scene directions, voiceover notes, or emotional cues for narration?